Imagine if you could leave a legacy for all your families. Would you want to do it? Shake your head, yes. What if you didn't have to pay federal taxes? Shake your head, yes. What if you didn't have to pay for everything? Think about this. Do you want to know the secret of the rich? Imagine that savings 3, 4, 5, or 6 digits on your federal taxes every single year. What would you do with that? Would you pay off your mortgage, buy a new car? Would you open a second location, a third location? Would you give to charity, help a family member out? Or would you save it for retirement? Imagine not having to be worried about being sued over trivial matters ever again. You could go to bed without worrying about if someone trips and falls, would they sue you? Imagine nobody knowing what you own, where you own it, how much you own, or how much you have. This is what will happen when you have the legal copywritten in the IRS Tax Code 643B Spendthrift Trust. This trust has been around since way back when King Henry VIII got in trouble for chopping off his wives' heads. He started the Church of England. It became contract law in England, came to the United States, or came to the colonies while we were still part of England, and the law firm I work on behalf of inherited a trust that turned 350 years old in 2023, before we were a country. Now, my name is Sally Gimmon. I'm the owner of the TrustIsYou.com, and I want to help as many U.S. business owners, U.S. 1099 income earners, and U.S. investors save federal taxes legally with the Spendthrift Trust. This is not taught in school, and I want to get it out to as many people as possible. I believe every U.S. business owner, U.S. 1099 income earner, and U.S. investor needs to know this information. I also believe, since I had access to a book, and I used that access to a book and researched it on my own, it is my duty to share this with as many people as possible. I also believe that the playing field must be equalized for large businesses and small businesses equally. Why do the rich know this information and the regular people don't know this information? I want to change that. Now, thank you for coming out to this live on TikTok. I know that most people would not even want to listen to this, but I want to teach people how to save federal taxes legally. It's tax season now. You're bold, you're achieving, and you're open to new concepts. Since we're going to spend a little bit of time together, I want to give you a little bit of information about myself. I am blessed. I am financially free. I have wholesaled 29 houses in my beneficial trust. I have 12 notes. I have 4 rentals and 3 seller financing homes. Since starting both my business and beneficial Spendthrift Trust in September of 2000, I have saved 6 figures in federal taxes legally, and it's going up every time after that. Now, I have been on summits, I have been on podcasts, and now I'm being paid to speak live at different places. It's a beautiful life, and I'm so happy to have it. I do need to thank a few people. I first need to thank my Thinking Into Results coach, Susan Ma. She's the one who made me in January of 2022 start my own business, move, and find a new real estate group. I mean, she could have given me something simple to do. Hey, lose 10 pounds. No, 3 really hard things to do. I also need to thank Orly Amor, who's my speaking coach, and I need to thank my family. They're letting me now talk nationwide, teaching people about the Spendthrift Trust. My story starts late October of 2018. I'm living in Phoenix, Arizona. My mom and dad are living in Goodyear, Arizona, about 20 miles west of Phoenix. My oldest nephew was getting married in Charlotte, North Carolina. My mom and dad left a week before the wedding to drive to Charlotte. I was working as a Medicare broker, and if anyone knows anything about Medicare brokering, that's the busiest time of the year. So I worked until 8 o'clock Friday night, drove myself to Sky Harbor Airport, and took a red-eye to Charlotte. Thursday, before I left, I was told my mom was in the hospital. I knew she was sick. I flew out on Friday evening, got there Saturday morning. My nephew picked me up from the airport. We went to IHOP for breakfast like normal. Then we went to the hospital to see my mom. We walked in. The priest was giving her last rites. My world got rocked that day. Then, 3 o'clock that afternoon, I go to a wedding that was a fantastic wedding with friends and family from all over the world. Next day, the Sunday after the wedding, my sister-in-law had a beautiful brunch lunch, and then we went to go see my mom, and I got dropped off at the airport because I had to fly back to Phoenix because I had to be at work at 6 o'clock in the morning, Phoenix time, because I was working East Coast hours. Now, my mom got septic of the blood, or blood poisoning. She was on the ventilator for 13 months, in the hospital for 15 months. My father, who was a retired military officer, had TRICARE. She was getting the best care possible. They stayed in the Charlotte area for 9 months. Once a week, I was going out to their house to do the mail because they hadn't been planning to stay that long. In December of 2018, there was a letter from the CMS, Centers for Medicare Services, that was 27 pages thick. And when I opened it up, it said my mom's first month in the hospital was $72,000. Yikes. She was getting care, but I'm standing in my parents' kitchen knowing I'm in debt. I have a mortgage. My brand new car that was 3 weeks old, I was driving to work on Indian School Road. I was a second car through a green light when someone ran the red light and T-boned me on my passenger side. Had no insurance, so I had 2 car payments. I had student loans. I had credit card payments. I was in dire straits. Right there in my mom and dad's kitchen, I called my friend Glenn, who had invited me to a real estate meeting in August, and I told him, hey, open enrollment's happening. I'm too busy to do this. I said, Glenn, I need to change my life today. He's like, Sally, next Saturday, we're going to have a Christmas potluck dinner. Get a $5 gift and come meet some real estate investors. I don't know about y'all, but going to a party where you know nobody, scary, scary, scary. Best decision of my life. In 2019, still working full-time as a Medicare broker, I wholesaled 7 properties, paid off all my debt. Woohoo! I'm a rock star. I'm doing really good. Well, then my CPA calls me and says I need to have a meeting with him. I go up to Scottsdale. He tells me I went from 22% tax rate up to 24% tax rate, and I owed the federal government $79,000 for short-term capital gains. My stomach dropped to my feet. I held it together. We got on a payment plan. I shook his hand, walked out, got my parking validated, go down to the parking garage, and literally cried for 20 minutes. What was I going to do? If you know about wholesaling, it's feast or famine. And I'm like, wow, I have to do something. Now, I think I have a huge L on my forehead. I'm a loser. I'm a fraud. How silly of me not to think of taxes. Nobody talks about this, but it's true. So I drive home. My boyfriend had made me dinner. We were sitting there staring at each other. And when I went to bed that night, my great aunt Kitty from Ireland always made a comment saying, put a thought into your head and think about it while you sleep. One of my favorite books, Power of Your Subconscious Mind, is you should read that. I wake up 5 a.m. the next morning looking for a book that in my real estate group, Garrett Gunderson wrote a book called What the Rockefellers Do. The Rockefellers Trust is called The Office. It's 7 generations old and has almost 400 people in the trust, and they get to save taxes. This set me on a journey, and in September of 2020, I started both my business and beneficial Spendthrift Trust, and I've never looked back since then. What would you do if you could save, you got an unexpected tax bill? What would you do? I'm reading off notes. I'm practicing my speech here, so I have to apologize. What would you do if? What would you do if you know what the rich know? I mean, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, and the Kennedys put this into the IRS Tax Code 643B. Now, I want to teach you all about this. The business trust is for U.S. business owners and U.S. 1099 income earners. You will save at least 90% on your federal income taxes year after year, generation after generation. You will also save in 43 states, either state income taxes or personal taxes if you get everything into the trust. I am saving people thousands and thousands of dollars. Today's post was about a husband and wife who have an auto body shop in New Jersey, Bergen, New Jersey. They're going to save $27,913 in their federal income taxes, plus an extra $9,276 in New Jersey state taxes. They're going to lower their tax rate from 24% down to 12%. The wife is working, has a W-2 income. I can't touch that money, but they will save over $36,469 in their first year with the Spendthrift Trust. What would you do with an extra $36,469? Would you pay off your mortgage? Would you buy a new car? Would you hire another person to work in the auto body shop? Or would you go on a vacation? That is your choice. The business trust is going to save for U.S. business owners and 1099 income earners. Now, I have to tell you the 4 ways it saves you money. First off, number 1, federal taxes year after year, generation after generation. Number 2, it keeps your information 100% private. Your LLC does not keep it private. I can go out to the Secretary of State website or the Corporation Commission and research your LLC. There's a reason why 40% of all LLCs are taxed every year. Number 3, talking about being not taxed, being sued every year. Number 3, talk about being sued. The old adage from Nelson Rockefeller: own nothing, control everything. If you get everything into the trust, then they only can sue you, and you have no money. They can't get money from a stone, and it all becomes frivolous. And number 4, if you're not aware of the Treasury Department's Corporate Transparency Act, you do not have to do the paperwork for that act. Please, if you need more information about the Corporate Transparency Act, please email me at info@thetrustisyou.com. I'll send you some information on that, because this is going to change things for everyone, for all small businesses. Now, talking about the beneficial trust. This is for all U.S. investors. I don't care what kind of investor you are. You're going to save the following taxes. You will not pay short-term capital gains when you sell something at a profit for a year or less, like me wholesaling. You won't pay long-term capital gains if a year or more. Again, that could save people thousands of dollars. I helped the gentleman who was selling a 42-year-old restaurant. Say at 15%, he saved $460,000, and at 20%, he saved $600,000. He's 69 years old, and that's his money for his retirement. You will no longer pay interest income. Interest income is if you're a passive investor, if you are doing creative financing, if you're doing seller financing, if you're doing the BRRRR strategy, if you're doing subject to real estate, or if you have notes like I do. Forex investors, listen up. You get taxed twice, double tax, capital gains and interest income. You need the Spendthrift Trust. You will no longer pay dividend income. So if you're in the stock market, investing in dividends, maybe you're doing commodities trading, maybe you're doing futures trading. If you're an options trader, listen up. You get taxed 40% for your profits for a year or less and 60% for a year or more. You need the Spendthrift Trust. You'll no longer pay rental income. If you've got short-term rental like Airbnb, vacation rentals, or traveling nurses, or if you have long-term rentals, 5 doors, 10 doors, 20 doors, multifamily, commercial. Yes, you can take depreciation. Yes, you can take cost averaging, but you will still save the rental income, and then you don't have to worry about being sued if someone chips or tries to sue you. And finally, royalty income. If you are an actor, an actress, a writer, a songwriter, a musician, if you're in the NFT world, maybe you have patents, maybe you have intellectual property. Like I said, this trust is copyrighted, so I don't pay royalty information for selling the trust. Now, the Benson Financial Trust was written by Paul Benson 75 years ago. He was a Harvard law professor. He wrote this trust, started his law firm with his best friend. They've left it to 2 sons, and now a grandson has a firm. In 75 years, the trust has never been audited. I am offering you a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me. Please reach out to me. Come to the tax breakthrough session so we can see how much money you could have saved in 2023 and how much money you can save in 2024. At the meeting, I'll give you 2 pages of case law. I'll give you 3 articles from Forbes magazine, and I'll give you a PDF copy of the book, What the Rockefellers Do. Please reach out, www.thetrustisyou.com. I have a free video there so you can watch it on your cell phone or you can watch it on your computer. Thank you for watching this. Take care.